Now on CoastTV News.
New rules could determine when alcohol can be sold in Dagsboro, but business owners and bartenders are not happy about them.
Waste watching up on the beach, syringes, feminine hygiene products, and more littering the coastline.
Details on a hit and run at Ocean City Bike Fest that left a teenager in critical condition.
Free parking, the bulk of the coast has shut down their meters, but there's still at least one area where you want to pay attention so you don't get a ticket.
And we have an unsettled week ahead of us. I'll have the latest details on when rain, wind, and coastal flooding may push into the Delmarva Peninsula in my full forecast.
This is CoastTV News at 11.
Clock watching while you drink. Closing time may come a little earlier soon in Dagsboro. Good evening, I'm Charlie Sakaitis.
And I'm Christina DeRobertis. Welcome to our News at 11. We begin tonight with one community looking to shut down the party a little early.
New in Dagsboro, the town council met today to discuss changing the hours in which some businesses are allowed to actually sell alcohol. And
as Coast TV news reporter Brendan Conroy shows us, businesses who sell alcohol are not too happy about this proposal.
Last call could come earlier in Dagsboro, the town looking to break up the nightlife a little. Town council met today to discuss a proposal. Right now, bars and restaurants can sell booze from 8 a.m. to 1 a.m. If this new proposal is adopted, it would cut way back on that, shortening the window from 11:30 a.m. to 11 p.m. David Elliott, who owns Delmarva Billiards, isn't happy about it.
It could be very detrimental to any small business from a financial aspect. A huge financial burden if they were to consider cutting the hours back on both sides.
The town council claims that this change would help keep trouble out of the community, but they didn't offer a lot of examples or specifics at tonight's meeting. Meanwhile, for businesses, it's a hit. Bianni Cordoba, the owner of La Dama Mexican restaurant and bar, says
the news
she's
came
worried.
out, there's a lot of the low customers. There's customers saying that it's closed, that we're closing at 11. They can't come anymore. So we have lost business and we have lost money too.
Bartenders have a similar view.
It would cut back on our business drastically on Friday and Saturday nights. I don't see any positives for us.
If this rule does pass, you'll still be able to share a drink with a friend. You'll just have to close out your tab a little earlier. The town council heard from business owners and other people who have thoughts on the matter, and although they didn't come to an official decision tonight, they discussed the key points in which these laws would apply. They have tabled the discussion until their next meeting on October 21st at 6 p.m. In Dagsboro, Brendan Conroy, Coast TV News.
New at 11, the Ocean City Town Council held the first reading of an ordinance that paves the way for bond money to renovate the Ocean City Convention Center. That ordinance also ties in golf course clubhouse improvements. The bond is not to exceed $6 million, and in previous reporting on Coast TV, we've noted that the convention center portion of that is $4 million. This money would be used to modernize the facility, which has operated since 1972, including a new roof, elevator, upgrades, and replacing the concrete flooring in exhibit halls A, B, and C with multi-purpose flooring that is better suited for sporting events. There still needs to be a second reading of this ordinance before the bonds can be authorized.
Well, it's that time of year when we can finally say goodbye to paid parking. Meters have been shut off in Rehoboth, Dewey, and Bethany beaches and Fenwick Island for the season. They'll turn back on May 15th. But in Lewis, you'll still have to pay for parking just a little bit longer. Meters shut off there October 14th. And multiple beaches on Delmarva were shut down for swimmers today as medical waste washed up. Things like syringes and feminine hygiene products were discovered along the coast. The first reports came in Assateague and Ocean City, and with still no word on where it's coming from, the Ocean City Beach Patrol kept the beaches closed today. Assateague put up some signs warning people about the dangers in the sand. The Assateague Island National Park superintendent said park rangers were filling multiple 5-gallon buckets with waste.
We have not seen anything like this, to my knowledge, in Maryland, Delaware, or Virginia before.
Hawthorne says the federal government is investigating where the waste came from.
buckets of waste. And it's not just Maryland. In Delaware, as far north as Lewis and south as Fenwick, that waste washed up as well. Authorities told Coast TV today they have no idea where the waste is coming from, and they will not be speculating on its source. At 3R's beach today, we spotted pill bottles and plastic containers. Some beachgoers said they hadn't seen anything, but still voiced safety concerns about sharp needles.
It's disturbing. I mean, you've got locals here that are on the beach every day, and you don't want to step on needles. You don't know where they're coming from, who's had them, and it's not to mention what they're doing to the ecosystem and the marine life here. It's a beautiful beach, and we want to keep it that way.
Dewey Beach officials say that the water will stay closed for swimming through tomorrow. And all of this brings us right into our Coast TV poll. We want to know what you think the biggest safety concern about medical waste washing on shore is. Let's take a look at the updated results from earlier this evening.
Well, so far, most of you want to know the cause. Determining the cause, you say, is the biggest concern here. Some of you say, danger to people, harming sea life. And a few of you want to know when this is going to be cleaned up, but really, they want to know what is causing this.
Where is it coming from? That seems to be the biggest question. It's been this way all day. If you haven't voted yet, you can still do that at CoastTV.com or use the Coast TV mobile app.
And let's take a live look now outside into Ocean City. Our first alert meteorologist, Chris Mastrobono, joins us now with a look at the weather. Chris, good evening.
Good evening, Christina. Yes, it was a gloomy, dreary day. Especially pretty windy at the coast as well. And current look into Ocean City, where temperature is 71 degrees, and those winds are continuing out of the northeast, generally about 15 to 25 miles an hour. Temperatures are going to hold steady overnight with the cloud cover, so we're not expecting temperatures to drop all that much. We had a few showers roll in off the ocean earlier this evening, and that's the way it's going to be overnight. A lot of low-level moisture, mist around. Boy, look at this. Down in North Carolina, this area of low pressure just parking right there like a fire hose, that moisture pulling in. Record-setting rainfall down there. 75 was our high. That's all we did today with the cloud cover. 75 in Ocean City. We saw 76 in Salisbury. Temperatures right now, this is where we're pretty much going to be through the overnight, as I mentioned, and those winds still howling at the coast, generally upwards of 20 to nearly 30 inches of rain. So continue to see that coastal flood advisory. We are tracking some potential heavier rain tomorrow night into Wednesday. We'll have more on that coming up in my full forecast here in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Chris. A teenager is still fighting for his life after a hit-and-run accident at Bike Fest down in Ocean City this past week. On Friday night, 16-year-old Tyler Walsh, seen here in the yellow shirt, was hit by a motorcycle while crossing Philadelphia Avenue. He was correctly in the crosswalk when he was hit. Walsh was flown to shock trauma in Baltimore for life-threatening injuries. Today, family members went back to the scene to hang up teddy bears with ribbons in Tyler's favorite color, orange, a sign of support that one of Tyler's best friends says is sorely needed.
That really brightens our mood, it brings it all together to see that there's more than just us that are out here supporting him. Like, I've never even met his family before, but to see them down here and supporting him, it just means so much.
The driver was found hours later at the West OC Park and Ride. Michael Schneider of New York has been charged with 12 traffic violations, including driving under the influence and fleeing the scene.
In Georgetown, the town council looking to build a new police station and public works building across from Delaware Tech. We've been telling you about this. Officers say the current location no longer fits the needs of the growing town, and the council has already held 2 of its 3 information sessions on this project. Tomorrow, there will be another session. It will be the final opportunity for anyone with remaining questions, and we spoke with some people in the Georgetown community that definitely have some lingering concerns.
And I want our local officials, especially our Mayor Bill West, to be honest about why we need such a large and expensive police station immediately.
Now, Mayor West previously told Coast TV that he believes the new building would likely not cost the full $18 million that they're looking to borrow, and the last information session is tomorrow at 6 p.m.
We have some breaking news tonight. Performer and producer Sean Diddy Combs has been arrested. According to the music mogul's attorney, Combs was taken into custody at a Manhattan hotel Monday night and was immediately processed. Combs' attorney says he's been cooperating with the investigation. Diddy apparently even relocated to New York last week in anticipation of being charged, and his team maintains his innocence, saying he has, quote, nothing to hide, unquote. CNN exclusively reported in May that a federal grand jury was hearing testimony in his case. The charges filed against him have not been released at this time.
A man with a criminal history is behind bars today, facing federal gun charges. The FBI believes he intended to assassinate former President Trump.
The acting Secret Service director is in Florida today and met with Mr. Trump as the investigation into who the suspect is and possible motives ramp up. NBC's Alice Barr has details.
Keep walking! New body cam footage released today showing the moment sheriff's deputies brought an apparent would-be assassin into custody. The acting Secret Service director meeting with former President Trump at Mar-a-Lago after the second threat to his life in 9 weeks.
The president is aware that he has highest levels of protection that the Secret Service is providing him.
The suspect, 58-year-old Ryan Wesley Ruth, making his first court appearance today, so far facing gun-related charges. He's accused of hiding out and pointing a semi-automatic rifle less than 500 yards from where former President Trump was golfing at his course in West Palm Beach, Florida. A Secret Service agent spotted a gunman in the bushes just outside the fence and fired at him.
The subject, who did not have line of sight to the former president, fled the scene. He did not fire or get off any shots.
The man took off, but not before an alert witness snapped a picture of his car that sheriff's deputies quickly tracked down.
Did the one witness make it all possible? The answer is unequivocally yes.
Former President Trump was not hurt. In a Fox News digital interview, he blamed rhetoric from President Biden and Vice President Harris, though the suspect's motive remains unknown. The president and vice president, on the other hand, both sharply condemned political violence, calling for more Secret Service support.
Thank God the president's okay. The service needs more help, and I think the Congress should respond to their needs.
As members of both parties call to tamp down heated rhetoric, the investigation is ramping up. Ruth has a long criminal history and has been outspoken in his support for Ukraine. In 2020, he told former President Trump on social media that he supported him in 2016, but called his time in office a disappointment. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Now, members of a bipartisan House panel looking into the first assassination attempt against former President Trump are now asking for a briefing on the second threat to the former president's life and any necessary changes to his security detail.
We have a lot more to get into this evening. We're just getting started.
Still to come, $30 million and you. A big settlement after the company 23andMe was hacked. Why you might be entitled to compensation from a class action lawsuit.
And fierce flooding, North Carolina fighting a deluge of water thanks to stormy weather along the coast.
And tracking scattered showers moving through the area tomorrow afternoon through Wednesday. So an unsettled 3-day stretch here, temperatures in the mid-70s. We'll talk about, though, that rain most of the week, and I'll break down the latest timing coming up.
Find your better night's sleep for less at Johnny Janasic. Shop now and get this Kingsdown Queen mattress, plush or firm, doorbuster price only $5.99. For a limited time only at Johnny Janasic's Mattress World.
The excellence of driving a Buick is matched by the excellence of the dealership experience when you own a Buick. Buick, exceptional by design.
Get 0.9% APR. Plus, current eligible non-GM owners get $3,000 purchase allowance on this 2024 Encore GX. That's 10% below MSRP.
Find your better night's sleep for less at Johnny Janasic. Shop now and get this Kingsdown Queen mattress, plush or firm, doorbuster price only $5.99. For a limited time only at Johnny Janasic's Mattress World.
Well, unfortunately, our sunshine and dry weather has come to an end, tracking multiple days of unsettled weather here on the Delmarva Peninsula. Live look into Ocean City, where it is 71 degrees. Humidity levels creeping up a bit, and temperature-wise, we're upper 69 there in Seaford. Otherwise, we are right around that 70-degree mark. Temperatures not falling all that much. Persistent onshore flow continues. Still seeing breezy conditions at the coast, generally 20 to 30-mile-an-hour winds, and that's going to continue into tomorrow as well. We do have that coastal flood advisory up. We have small craft advisories, high risk of rip currents over the next 2 days as well. We had a few light showers, few areas of mist earlier. Other than that, we are pretty dry at the moment, but there is that area of low pressure sitting over the Carolinas, dumping upwards of 15 inches of rain, and you can see it like a fire hose, that moisture just pouring into the Carolinas. 75 degrees was our high today, the record 91 set back in 1998. Now, as far as excessive rainfall is concerned, we do have that marginal risk in play for Wednesday. Not expecting any widespread flooding because it's been so dry, but you can see here we're generally thinking models pointing out about a half an inch to an inch of rain between Tuesday night through Wednesday. And you can see here our chances for precipitation really ramp up into Wednesday, but we keep them in play through the remainder of the week. As I mentioned, overnight, mostly cloudy, some misty conditions, temperatures only falling to around that 70-degree mark, and we're going to see plenty of cloud cover throughout the day tomorrow. Breezy conditions once again. Showers do really begin to develop after about 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. As you see here on Futurecast, lifting up through the area from north to south, from south to north, and we could see a few areas of downpours through the overnight tomorrow into Wednesday, and then we continue the cloud cover into Thursday as well. Again, rainfall generally thinking about a half an inch to an inch. Numbers have been coming down here over the last few runs, but you could see the winds, though, continuing to howl off the ocean. Generally about 20 to 40 mile an hour wind gusts continuing through Friday. So keep that in mind. Beach erosion is going to be a concern here over the coming days with that wave action. You're going to have 3 to 5 foot waves as well. Now, that area of low pressure kind of just sits off the coast, kind of meandering. Models kind of having a hard time kind of figuring out what it's going to do, but we're going to see some shower activity thrown at the coast. I think most of this is out of here by Saturday, Sunday, maybe a few showers there, but we'll slowly begin to dry things out. 68 overnight, damp and misty. 78 tomorrow, expecting the showers to arrive later on in the afternoon, and we keep the shower threat there, and we do have that first alert in place on Wednesday, due in part for the heavy rain, but we keep the shower threat in play through the weekend.
All right, thank you, Chris. And Chris was talking about that rain in North Carolina. Well, here's what that rain has caused. Major flooding in some areas. The National Weather Service in Wilmington reported that several locations in the area had already collected double-digit rainfall totals, including a staggering more than 15 inches at Carolina Beach. The storm system comes a week after Hurricane Francine made landfall in Louisiana and left thousands of people without power for several days.
Milton hopes to improve its parks with an $18,000 grant. DenRec has provided 50% of the cost share grant funds to the town of Milton. The town hopes that the second phase of the Rails to Trails project will have exercise stations, and the existing wooden benches along Governor's Walk will be replaced. Still to come, the future of fingerprints, why a new method of crime fighting involves the word nano.
And back in the office, Amazon wants its corporate employees live and in person for the workday.
This is my legacy.
The Corolla legacy is earned, rooted in affordable reliability. With convenience and unexpected comfort. Lease a Corolla Cross Hybrid for $299 a month, or buy a Corolla sedan with low 5.49 APR. Toyota, let's go places.
Feeling the summer sizzle? Is it turning your home into a sauna? At FH Fur, we know you can't wait when your AC is down for the count. That's why we're offering same-day service, guaranteed. If we don't make it to you the very same day, you will pay a diagnostic or dispatch fee, plain and simple. So whether your AC is blowing hot air, your thermostat is on the fritz, or your entire system needs replacing, an FH Fur expert technician will bring your comfort back today.
877-CALL-FUR, FHFur.com.
Join us for the Kickoff to Savings sales event going on right now at Preston Ford. Get $12,000 in savings off MSRP on select 2023 Ford F-150s. Save $9,000 off MSRP on a new 2023 Ford Bronco Badlands. These are just some of the deals. Explore a huge inventory online at PrestonFord.com. With over 1,000 new and pre-owned vehicles on the lot, we're sure to have the perfect vehicle for you. Preston Ford, located at the corners of Route 318 and 331. Remember, cars cost less in Preston.
The work we do at Delaware Electric Cooperative is driven by one goal: providing our members with the most affordable and reliable power possible. The co-op is committed to maintaining and improving our system through the use of innovative technologies. Our Beat the Peak program helps keep rates affordable when the cost to produce power is highest. Each year, we give back capital credits to our members as a return on their investment in us. At DEC, members matter most. And that's why we keep the lights on.
Download the CoastTV News app on your Apple or Android devices. This is CoastTV News at 11.
Amazon is demanding its corporate employees return to the office 5 days a week. It's a significant change from its current pandemic-era hybrid policy requiring them to be in the office just 3 days a week. CEO Andy Jassy made the announcement about the new policy Monday. He said the change will help its thousands of employees invent, collaborate, and be connected with each other and their culture. The new policy goes into effect on January 2nd.
At the cross-section of science and crime, a new fluorescent nanomaterial could help forensic scientists reveal previously unseen fingerprints, including those from cold cases. Researchers at the University of Leicester say dusting for fingerprints using nanoparticles rather than the traditional larger powders, well, that means that more detail can be captured, less of the residue from the fingerprint donor is needed for the particles to stick to, potentially revealing fingerprint makers' identities possibly even years later. Tests on this new material, they've found that it sticks to residues on a range of different surfaces, including metal, plastic, glass, and more complex objects like polymer banknotes.
Well, genetic testing company 23andMe has agreed to pay $30 million to people impacted by a data breach last year. The settlement comes after a class action lawsuit was brought against the company in October. Threat actors used about 14,000 accounts to access the ancestry data of 6.9 million connected profiles. The suit claimed 23andMe didn't do enough to protect user data and also didn't notify customers impacted in a timely way. As part of the agreement, 23andMe admitted to no wrongdoing. The deal is awaiting final approval from a judge.
Still to come in sports, soccer highlights from James N. Bennett High School plus Salisbury looking for a big win.
And next, the pain at the pump is plummeting. The key number we have dropped below here along the coast and why it's happening.
Not looking the best on the course tomorrow. A lot of cloud cover, very windy, and we're expecting showers to develop late afternoon and the early evening hours. So maybe hold off a couple days because we are going to be unsettled. We'll take a look at that 10-day forecast a little bit later on the newscast.
The bold, creamy smoothness of Hardee's new cold brew coffee with the made-from-scratch goodness of Hardee's famous breakfast. A delicious new way to power your morning. Hardee's, goodness in the making.
There are trucks, and then there's the GMC Sierra, available with the connected driving experience and the world's first 6-function multi-pro tailgate. GMC Sierra. It's the truck. Get 0% APR on 2024 Sierra 1500 Denali models. That's over $6,400 in average finance savings. We are professional grade. GMC.
Life is full of little moments. Joyous laughter. Playful dancing. Bright smiles. Never miss a moment. Built for brighter days. Shell Brothers Homes.
Find your dream vehicle during the Jeep Adventure Days right here at Preston Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram of Millsboro. Save over $6,000 off MSRP on a 2024 Grand Cherokee Limited, or save over $5,000 off MSRP on a 2024 Jeep Gladiator Sport S. Shop our entire inventory online and enjoy the convenience of home delivery. So join us during the Jeep Adventure Days right here at Preston Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram. And remember, cars cost less with Preston.
In 1925, a simple bank ledger began journaling the transactions of life in Willards, Maryland. New houses, barns, and farm equipment. Growing families and businesses both big and small. A record through time of hardship and prosperity. 100 years ago, the founding of the Farmers Bank of Willards was vital to the town. 100 years later, banking has changed, but the Farmers Bank remains steadfast in its original mission, keeping and reinvesting millions of dollars right here for the benefit of our communities.
The greatest meal deal for your buck? Hardee's Original Bag, just $6.99. Loaded with your choice of 2 full-size favorites, plus fries and a drink. All for just $6.99. Hardee's, goodness in the making.
We've got some good news for your wallet. Gas prices have been falling of late. In fact, in the state of Delaware, the average price of a gallon of gas under $3. It's now $2.98. That's down 11 cents from a week ago, down 70 cents from this time 1 year ago. Falling oil costs have helped ease the pain at the pump, as well as low demand. If you're an EV driver, the national cost for charging, that's actually gone up by a penny.
If you go to Wawa and use a credit card, you should pay attention to this. Delaware State Police are investigating 3 reports of Wawa credit card skimmers. These machines that steal credit card information were found in Rehoboth Beach, Lewis, and then found around Millsboro, as well as Dover and Camden. Police are still investigating who put the skimmers there and if anyone was hacked. And for more information and tips on how to prevent being a fraud victim, check out CoastTV.com.
All eyes are on the Federal Reserve this week as it decides if it's going to drop interest rates that have been sitting at a 23-year high. The decision's impact could be felt from Wall Street to your street. Emily Schmidt reports on what changes could mean for your bottom line.
You may not remember what you were doing in March of 2022, but it was an unforgettable time for your finances.
While higher interest rates, slower growth, and softer labor market conditions will bring down inflation, they will also bring some pain to households and businesses.
That March marked the first in a series of Federal Reserve interest rate hikes, which eventually climbed to more than 5.25%. This summer, the Fed's chairman hinted of change.
A reduction in our policy rate could be on the table as soon as the next meeting in September.
Market experts say almost certainly count on it.
Virtually all market participants expect some cut in the federal funds rate.
This coming rate reduction by the Federal Reserve is going to be big news for borrowers, but maybe not for savers.
If the Fed lowers rates by 0.25 or 0.5 points, savings account rates would drop accordingly. But you could pay lower rates on credit cards, auto loans, and mortgages, which are already dropping. Mortgage financing company Freddie Mac says last week's rates averaged 6.2%, down from a 2-decade high of more than 7.79% last year. Experts caution against buying or refinancing too soon.
My expectation is that we will see further declines in mortgage rates, so that might argue for holding off.
It's probably best to wait a year or maybe even 2 until rates are all the way down at 3% or even lower.
But before consumers play the long game, it's the Fed's move. That comes Wednesday. For Consumer Watch, I'm Emily Schmidt.
Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
Yeah, Bennett girls soccer trying to keep pace with Mardella atop the Bayside South, and the Clippers did just that earlier today. JMB pulling out a 4-1 win at the Shipyard. Riley Matthews scored twice to lead the way for the Clips. Gracie Core and freshman Rylan East also tallied for Bennett. Abby Mahaffey, she scored the lone goal for the Buccaneers. Bennett's next match is Wednesday at 4 against Crisfield. Ken Island's next appearance is Wednesday, taking on the Easton Warriors. Keeping it on the pitch, how about this Salisbury men's soccer squad this past weekend? The goals stun third-ranked Messiah in a road upset. Salisbury storms out of the gates. Peter Beal scored his first goal as a Seagull just 56 seconds into the match. And with a 2-1 lead in the 85th minute, Brady Young would tack on as SU wins it 3-1. Goalie Cliff Nyman had 3 saves in the upset. And on the gridiron, Salisbury football upsets 18th ranked Muhlenberg 59-38. The Seagulls 59 points, the most scored at home since the Sweet 16 of the 2019 playoffs when they hung 62 on Union. Gage Gatsenel Hall, 3 passing touchdowns through the air, while Ronald Clark tallied 186 on the ground. Next week, they'll travel across the bridge to face off against Johns Hopkins. Later for sports. Have a great night, everybody.
Still to come tonight, we have some details about a live photography competition in Rehoboth Beach this weekend.
The UV Index Weather Report is sponsored by Ocean City Tourism. Somewhere to smile about.
It starts with our oldest family tradition, artisan bread topped with the finest hand-sliced meats and cheeses. Add in the freshest locally grown produce. But don't forget the In our house, it's not just a hoagie, it's a primo.
There are trucks, and then there's the GMC Sierra, available with the connected driving experience and the world's first 6-function multi-pro tailgate. GMC Sierra. It's the truck. Get 0% APR on 2024 Sierra 1500 Denali models. That's over $6,400 in average finance savings. We are professional grade GMC.
Nearly 30 years ago, Mediacom was founded on a powerful idea: bring cutting-edge broadband to underserved communities. From coast to coast, we connected 850,000 miles of fiber. Our team broke speed barriers, delivered 1 gig speeds to every customer, has led the way in developing a 10G platform, and now with Mediacom Mobile is offering the fastest, most reliable network on the go. Mediacom. Decades of dedication, decades of delivering, decades ahead.
Feel the rush of adventure and the thrill of incredible savings at Gateway Subaru. Save up to $2,700 on a new 2025 Subaru Outback with financing rates as low as 1.9% for 48 months. Or save up to $2,400 off a new 2024 Subaru Crosstrek with financing rates as low as 1.9% for 48 months. And be among the first to drive the all-new 2025 Subaru Forester. Stop in and reserve yours today. Gateway Subaru, just minutes from the beaches in the heart of Delmarva. Higher standards.
No strangers here, just friends you've not met yet. With an outside patio and inside charm, Irish Eyes Pub and Restaurant Milton is a local's favorite on the banks of the Broadkill River. Irish Eyes Pub and Restaurant Lewis, gorgeous views, free parking, and the best happy hour at the beach, with room for everyone. And for a truly special event, go no further than the Lewis Room at Irish Eyes. The panoramic views, in-house chef, and professional team will make it easy to plan your next event. Find out more at irisheyespub.com.
It starts with our oldest family tradition, artisan bread topped with the finest hand-sliced meats and cheeses. Add in the freshest locally grown produce. But don't forget the In our house, it's not just a hoagie, it's a primo.
Get your cameras ready because the 2024 James Farm Photo Challenge kicks off this weekend on September 20th. Photographers of all ages can compete for cash prizes at the Delaware Center for the Inland Bay. And if you take a look at your screen right now, you're looking at last year's winning photo.
Well, we are seeing some misty conditions across the area, and temperatures not really falling all that much overnight due to the cloud cover. And stepping outside tomorrow at the bus stop, we are going to see those misty conditions and temperatures right around 68 degrees. On the way home, though, we will see those showers begin to develop and temperatures only topping out in the mid-70s. Congratulations to our umbrella winner, Shirley Price of Ocean View, Delaware. And you can get your forecast at any time by calling our First Alert weather phone at 443-880-9100. Your Paul Davis 10-day shows that First Alert for Wednesday, expecting some heavy rain Tuesday and Wednesday, scattered in variety. We keep the shower threat in play Thursday, Friday, may linger into Saturday. We'll have to work on that forecast, Charlie, a little as we progress through the week.
Keep an eye on that, Chris. Thanks for joining us here for Coast TV News at 11. For more news, more local weather, download our Coast TV News app.
The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon is up next, and we'll see you tomorrow for Coast TV News at 5 a.m. Have a great night.